Hello, friends. Um, this is a story I wish I didn't have to blog on. I wish I didn't have to tell you. I wish I frankly didn't have to experience. But I want to take a couple of minutes and talk today about the situation of Daniel Prude and his family. Daniel Prude's an African American man, age 41, who was arrested by police, of course, in Rochester, New York, on March 23rd. He is someone who had experienced a history of mental illness, and he was called. The police were called actually by his brother, who was concerned for his safety, and Daniel was found wandering the streets, behaving erratically, and immediately arrested and taken to the ground and restrained in handcuffs and what was later called a spitting hood to protect himself and others. But what ended up occurring was they put his knee on the cops put their knee on his back and restrained his head to the point where it caused asphyxiation and 11 days later, I believe, suffocation. So Daniel Prude becomes the latest in a deeply horrific string of people injured severely or who die in police custody. African Americans, I should say. What makes Daniel's case so alarming in terms of the Julian Way and those with disabilities is it follows a trend of those with disabilities and particularly mental illness being much more likely, I think statistically as much as twice as likely to encounter violence or injury at the hands of police. And again, as many of you know, I have a brother who is a good officer of the law and is a fine policeman, and there are many in America. There are also many that are not engaging with the African American community or those with mental illness in ways that are helpful and often engaging in ways that are destructive and violent. And this is going to be another call from me, friends, that we must bear witness. And particularly when it comes to those with mental illness or mental illness related issues, we must, as much as is possible, demand that law enforcement and law enforcement retention and arrest are removed from this situation. Daniel Prude could have been saved and could have been given a chance to live on if the Rochester Police Department was equipped and was given the resources as far as mental health counselors and mental health resources so that officers didn't have to jump straight to arrest. And there's plenty that they could have done after they made the decision to intervene in the way they did to save this man's life. We must help people be their best. I'm calling on us all to bear witness and stop the criminalization of disability, and specifically the criminalization of mental illness. As people of faith and people of humanity and decency, it is up to us to make decisions to be better than this and bear witness to this so that the criminalization of mental illness can cease immediately. Bear witness, my friends. Never forget Daniel Prude. And he's not the only story like this. We must demand this stops. We must demand resources for those with mental illness and mental health issues. We cannot let this continue. Bear witness, friends.